Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. I do want to thank you for joining us tonight on this lovely Tuesday night right here in Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to say a special good night to those of you that are logged onto our page, Real Talk with Saieed Ali page. Remember to like and share our page. Those of you on YouTube, TT Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live. So viewers, one thing I always do every night is encourage you to share our live stream on Facebook. Those of you that are looking at us on Synergy Television, if you haven't subscribed as yet to our page, our Facebook page, or our YouTube channel is TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you will know when we go live. In your Facebook account on your phone, go on your Facebook, type in Real Talk with Saeed. When our page pops up, like it and share it at the same time. So thousands and millions of people would know of the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago, where we deal with the issues of the day. So as we start off our show tonight, viewers, Republic Bank Limited has confirmed that it will be offering postponement deferrals on loan to its customers on a case-by-case basis. Republic Bank's statement comes following decisions between local banking institute and the central bank over the last few weeks. In an advisory issued today, June 1st, 2021, Republic Bank explains that the loan deferrals may be for a period of up to 3 months. So we're in June, July, and August. With expiration date no earlier than 30th of September. Both residential and business customers in need of assistance who wish to learn more about the offer or apply for a loan deferrals are being encouraged to visit the bank official website. So viewers, those of you who bank with Republic Bank, they are going to give you a 3-month deferral loan. So if you want to find out any more information about it, you could go to the Republic Bank website and you will get all the information that you need. So at least we want to thank Republic Bank for deferrals, because a lot of people who have been home and are not working, no income is coming in, so a loan cannot pay. So I do want to take the time out to thank Republic Bank for making such a bold step into helping the citizens and the customers that have loans with them. So as we move on tonight, viewers, feel free to call in 238-6716. It's Tune It Up Tuesday. I'm going to say Thursday, you know. I saw into the Thursday thing now. Nevertheless, Tuesday night, Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali has again announced additional restrictions at the press conference on Saturday. The PM stated that all prepared and prepackaged food for sale was banded together, with hardware being closed for the next week. He added that many restaurants or store owners are now having food prepared and packaged to be sold elsewhere.
It has the effect of undermining the objective of the national response. It has come to our attention that many restaurant or store owners of one kind or the other have responded to the requirement for the closure of restaurants by somehow in a closed restaurant is having food prepared and packaged to be sold and serviced elsewhere. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this might be good for the restaurant. It might be a good business model, but it has the effect of undermining exactly what we are trying to accomplish. One, which is to keep people away from work, so somebody is working in those kitchens. Two, encouraging people to come out, to go and to get these prepared foods, and in fact are congregating at places of distribution.
So now, viewers, this is something that we have been talking about for a little while. Just imagine you have a bakery selling chicken and chips. A bakery that's supposed to sell bread and cakes and pastries and stuff. They're selling chicken and chips. You're getting bus up shot. You're getting dal puri, you're getting curry chicken in a bakery. The restaurant cannot sell it because the Prime Minister would say that in the kitchen, there is gathering in the kitchen. There's gathering. And this is something we had on our show at one point in time. The president of the Supermarket Association. Now, he couldn't say much about it because prepackaged food was selling in the groceries. Now, I would be wondering if they're not selling it in the restaurant and the grocery could sell prepackaged food, which means in some kitchen, some part of Trinidad, there's a mass gathering to cook food. To cook food. And I remember a lot of callers called in and they were voicing their concerns about it because just how the grocery, a man might take a $3-4 million loan to open a grocery, he paying a loan for the grocery. But the same thing now on the other side, the restaurant owner will take a loan to open a restaurant. And he's cooking food and selling. Caller, good night.
Very good evening to you, Mr. Said.
To you, my friend.
So, I understand what he's trying to say because these prepared foods that has been sold in Massey stores and Linda Bakery and all over the place, it has to be prepared someplace. So, it means that people have to congregate in a facility to prepare the meals, package it, and send it to be sold. But he now realized people congregating. He now realized that. When you tell people Tobago is to be and it's overflowing, so if you have a bucket and you're filling water in it, the last drop will cause the bucket to overflow.
Exactly.
That means you have enough already. And he encouraged that. So, Mr. Rowley, I know what you're trying to do, but I mean, you have to apologize for that nonsense you did, all of it.
Thank you, my friend. You see, he's late on the draw. When I was saying it all these weeks gone by, when I was saying it, they were plain deaf. They were plain deaf. But when they realize now, that some people only go into the grocery just to buy prepackaged food. They didn't realize that because they probably have friends and family. I say the bold and brave, they have friends and family who is in the food business. And it is okay for them now, for the workers to have a mass gathering in the kitchen. Cook it, pre-package it, and drop it in place to sell. Who vex loss? But a lockdown is a lockdown. If the restaurant closed down, anyway selling food have to close down. Fear is fear. Across the board, fear is fear. Call a good night.
Sorry, good night. I was trying to remind that I called the St. Joseph Health Center this morning to remind them that they were supposed to call me to make an appointment for the vaccine. And they tell me they're not doing no appointment, and they gave me another 5 numbers to call to make another appointment. But they tell me they still have no vaccine. So I don't know what's going on with them. And before I go, I just know that this morning program, your station, Dr. Chatargul, advised the Prime Minister to get rid of Minister Diyal Singh and his advisors because they're not advising properly. Thank you, sir.
What, he there? Hold on, caller, you there? He gone. I wanted to ask him which health center he called. St. Joseph. And they tell him no vaccine, no appointment? No. Anyhow. Before I go haywire on TV, Before I go haywire, I'm going to follow my script. Rowley further stated that regulations are being prepared to ensure that it is crystal clear that closure means closure. He also added that hardwares would be closed.
So today, regulations would be prepared to ensure that it is crystal clear that closure means closure. Restaurants are closed. Food services, prepared food service delivery would not be available in the coming days. And along with that, hardwares will close hardwares for the next week, closed.
Now viewers, those two clips that you saw were from Saturday press conference briefing. The minister now understands the meaning of closure. They are putting things in place to let the public know that when we say close, we mean close. And I find too much of people dying. I find too much of people dying. And the public coming down and all that throw too much. So you all decide to step in a direction now to put measures into place so that when you see a sign marked close, it means close. A third world country will always remain a third world country unless viewers, the government that is governing that country decides to step up their games, step up production. That is the only way a third world country will become a second-class country. Call good night.
Good evening, Mr. Saieed.
My friend, go right ahead.
Saieed, let me tell you something. You see, everything how these people are going about with handling this COVID here is just failure. First, they begin to have the most of the incompetent people handling and managing the situation, from Rowley to D.L. Singh and all the rest of the doctors, them who every day coming with a sort of stupidness graph and talking about a sort of ridiculousness in this country. What they need to do, they have to test the population to find out who have the COVID. They have to put them into isolation. They have to vaccinate the population. And if they're not doing that, every single nonsense that they're doing right now with all this lockdown dotishness, it makes no sense. Let me just ask you something. Somebody who packaging food in a kitchen and distributing it, is that any different from everybody going and holding a gas tank, a gas hose in the gas station, pump and filling it up without anybody sanitizing it? And then they go back in their car, they drive out and touch their face, hands, all these kind of things?
No difference.
So what is the difference? Is there a difference with the bakeries, the Kiss Bakery, delivering bread from their place to all the parlors and these mini-marts and things throughout the country than the same people who are cooking the food and things? So if it is that you're really serious in preventing spread of COVID, you had to shut down everything totally for the 21 days, subsidize the people and make sure they are supported with financial or food stuff to keep them through that period, and have the bare minimum people outside there, only the necessities that is required to run the country, the police, the doctors, the nurses, and these people out there. Close it down for the 21 days.
Yes.
But these idiots and them have no clue, because they're in a position right now, they don't know what to do. They're not accepting the assistance from the qualified and the specialized doctors in this country, because everything now is politics. Just imagine, we have a secretarial clerk who's a pharmacist running the healthcare in this country. Something had to be wrong in this country. Then we have this Northwest Regional Health man who just frustrating all the doctors, them who is in the front line trying to get things under control, and we sitting down and accepting it when people are dying. It's just, look, 500 people done there already, while the world open, we burying people and like in prison right now,
Yep.
Something had to be wrong in this country, and we just sit back and accept this kind of nonsense. Nah, man side. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of it.
Thank you, my friends. Same to you. Now listen this. Listen, watch man. Listen how we so backward in Trinidad. No wonder why a third world will remain a third world unless the government decide to stand up. Hear this, Trinidadians and Tobagonians and viewers around the globe that are locked on to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I know there's a whole aviation company in Dubai that is locked on to Real Talk. And to my friend in Dubai, a special good night to you. With regards to the hardware lockdown, the Prime Minister stated that with construction closed, there should be no rush to the hardware. He now realized that. How long did it take the chairman of CARICOM to realize that? How long? I put in a big title to him. The chairman of CARICOM. He said there was a plan to open them on a rotation base once a week. Of shutdown is over. However, supermarkets and bakeries will be allowed to continue the sale of food. What you say? You're in a restaurant. You order your food. They cook it in the kitchen. You have a kitchen staff, and you have the consumer service. The people sit down in the restaurant. So you have a volume of people in the restaurant. That is one. In the kitchen, and at a seating table. So that is two lines, right? Good. You allow the supermarket now and the bakeries to continue selling food. Who cooking the food? That's number one. Is it health approved? Number two. How do we know it's less than 5 people in the kitchen? That's number 3. You stop the restaurant. You stop prepackaging food. But you're allowing the groceries and the bakeries now to sell food. So what do you do, Mr. Rowley? How does that sound coming from somebody outside of the government? Terence the Alsing, how does that sound? How does that sound to the administration that is governing the COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago? The bakery man alone have loan to pay? Or him alone have workers? I'm asking a question. Those that govern Trinidad and Tobago, those that are making the amendments to shut down and open and halfway sell. The bakery will hire staff to cook in the kitchen to sell food. Or unless you're classing bread as food. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. Bread is food. But to me, bread is a snack. Now you allow the supermarket now. You allow the supermarket to sell food. So, number 1, there's a staff in the kitchen. Number 2, is it health approved? And number 3, people will not go in the grocery to buy grocery alone. You would find now a large volume of people going into the grocery just to buy pre-cooked food. So Rowley, does your statement, does it make any sense? You allow the bakery to sell food. What kind of food? What kind of food? Huh? You allow the supermarket to sell food. Do you have friends and family that own supermarkets that you give them the option to sell food, but not the restaurant? Not the doubles man, not the pie man. Does it make sense, Mr. Rowley, coming from someone outside the government? I'm asking you. Call a good night.
Good night. I am not sorry for the people of this country. Because you had 5 years of these nincompoops, and again you elect them. So what do you expect? All who vote for the PNM, they should dead.
Hey! I'm not tolerating that. I'm not tolerating that. Moving along, viewers. Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi has appealed to the population to hold on a bit longer and adhere to the adjustment of the curfew periods. He reminded citizens that public health, state of emergency SOE, regulations and vaccine acquisition will soon offer the best chance of rolling back restrictions and rolling a phase reopen of the economy.
What we're saying, make the most of the state of emergency, limit the gatherings, manage to come out of this, exercise discipline whilst the vaccines begin to roll out in heavier numbers. Be assured that it is the government that is talking, the Prime Minister's head of this cabinet and head of the country and the current acting head of CARICOM is deep in discussions with every manufacturer, every international agency, all correlations, and the vaccine supply is what we're working on. We have the money to buy the vaccines. We've done the agreements, we've done the payments, we've done the logistics. So we just need to hold on until we get to herd immunity, and that's when the experts tell us what we can do and how we can open up further.
As my good friend mentioned, herd immunity. Didn't someone come out on television on a media briefing and said we are trying to prevent herd immunity? Herd immunity is a big spread. Didn't some big officials come out in a media briefing and said we are trying to prevent it? But tell you something, if we, as a small country in Trinidad, with a population of 1.3, reach herd immunity, you see how people falling down and dying like flies in India? Brace all yourself. Brace all yourself. Speaking on the curfew changes, Al-Rawi clarified that you can move about from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., just 5 hours.
Regulation number 14 is the regulation which will apply for 2 days only. The 2 days are on Monday, which is tomorrow for Indian Arrival Day, and on Thursday, which is for Corpus Christi. In that regulation 14, we have set what can be done between the new curfew hours. The new curfew hours are, simply put, you can move about at 5 a.m. and by 10 a.m., that is in the morning, just for 5 hours, you will allow movement for special purposes.
Now, viewers, the reason why we played this clip is for you all to understand that Monday was a holiday, and Thursday of this week is another holiday. So when you hear the curfew kicks in from Thursday night at 9 p.m., it ends. Oh, my mistake. When the curfew kicks in from Wednesday night at 9 p.m., it will finish at 5 a.m. Thursday morning. So Wednesday night your curfew starting from 9 and finishing Thursday morning at 5 a.m. So at 5:01 on Thursday morning, you are allowed to go to a pharmacy and get whatever medications you have to get. And by 9:59, you should be in your house. Because at 10 a.m., the Thursday curfew will kick in until further notice. So Friday morning, 5:01, you're on the move again. So I played that clip just for you all to understand how the curfew went. And I must thank the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago for really listening. Really, really listening. Some of you who wanted to play, you know, this Dan man, this Papi man, you know, he's a big boy now, you still come out. A lot of breaches, a lot of people got ticketed. Now viewers, for the curfew coming on Thursday, there's adjustment for worship places to be open, for live streaming, for wedding, for funerals, and for pharmacies. This is what the Attorney General had to say.
And Regulation 14 says what those purposes are. It says, number one, you can have the operation of churches, ecclesiastic entities, meaning mosques, mandirs, religious organizations. Secondly, that they can live stream, as the regulations always provided. Thirdly, that burials, weddings, etc. can continue. So those three things are permitted within the hours of 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. We also permitted pharmacies to operate, and very importantly, what we said is that the matters set out that you would normally have when the curfew applies, that's to be found in Regulation 4.5, those essential services which are cut down and operate in the closure of hours period, those could also prevail.
Now viewers, only pharmacies were allowed to open from 5 in the morning until 10 o'clock that said day. I saw one or two groceries, police had to shut them down. So this is why I decided to run back these clips, so people would understand only on the holiday, the curfew from 5, free period, movement period, is from 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. You only have 5 hours to move. And I saw one or two groceries in Trinidad had to be shut down. Now the president of the Supermarket Association came out and said, with regards to what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, the seriousness of the COVID-19, and with what the Attorney General said, the Rajiv Dipti said groceries will be closed. And pharmacies were the only one allowed to open because of probably medications. But some people are really, you know, I call that money hungry. One day you can't shut down. One day just to support a cause. Call a good night.
Said good night. Said, it's not a case of money hungry, no, Said. Citizens in this country, they live more or less day to day. Son, today they'll get up this morning, go to shop and buy them and cook for today. Son, because that is the money they have. But on the issue of the herd immunity side, the only way I believe they can get us herd immunity thing in this country, you know, Trinidad, let the Prime Minister come out and say, he given us a whole week of carnival, son. But in first, you had a vaccine, you go show everybody rather than take the vaccine. But side on a serious note, the Prime Minister running and shutting down all these little convenience gas stations that selling pre-packaged food, the groceries and thing, right? But the only place that the public could go to buy things literally cook is in the central markets throughout the country, right? Saturday morning, my wife and I went to the market. We reached there 5:10 in the morning, Said. We wasn't able to get into the market when it's about 6 o'clock on it because why? The vendors have to leave. They have to leave home just like me and you 5 in the morning to travel from wherever they're coming from, then to come into the central market. Then they had to set up. After we get to the market side, I mean, they're telling me outside, you have to social distance, sanitize, and do a whole heap of different things. But when they reach into the market, it's normal chaos going on. People congregating by all the different vendors. And when they come outside, all the senior citizens and them had to line up in the hot sun. So I relatively, I really don't know what is the purpose of this whole curfew thing that they putting the people to, because this whole curfew can finish, this state of emergency can finish, and we still going to have the constant deaths and all different things we're having right now. This curfew not even nothing at all. This same curfew you're having in the morning from 10 till 5 the next morning, this not even nothing. Not the place, understand, open place and try and see if we can get the citizens to take the vaccine. That's what the government needs to do right now. Try and see if we can get the citizens to take the vaccine, because this promise are crippling the economy side.
Correct.
The country is being crippled. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. I was talking to somebody from Grenada. Grenada economy is building because they were preparing their country. They were preparing their country in the early stages, while our House of Speaker was saying it is not a matter up for debate. Grenada and Jamaica were already in debate. Let me tell you something. Third world will remain third world, especially if we have people like what we have now governing Trinidad and Tobago. Let me remind you something, Trinidadians and Tobagonians. I am not against PNM. I am not against UNC. But you see, when you hear I had to pay tax from my company to the government, and the government doing one set of foolishness, I must stand up and talk about it. I must stand up and talk about it. When I come here from Monday to Friday, here who I represent. I represent the black and the white. I represent all race in Trinidad and Tobago. I represent the poor man, the middle class man, and the upper class man. You know why I would say the upper class man? Because when you had the government introduce a new tax, it will hurt the pockets of the upper class man. So this is who I represent when I come here. Every night from Monday to Friday. And I go tell you something. We too blasted backward. When other countries, right up the Caribbean, were putting things in place, and I will always say this, when Caribbean countries up the Caribbean here was putting things in place, we were saying it's not up for debate. Let's imagine a health minister in Trinidad and Tobago, we all know him, Dayal Singh, said if it comes in Trinidad, it's just a minor set of people, and we will be able to manage it. He cannot even manage an outbreak of malaria in Trinidad. You want to manage COVID-19. A simple thing as managing medicine in the hospital, you cannot do that. You want to manage an outbreak of a disease. You cannot manage of proper wheelchair and proper bed in the hospital in Trinidad and Tobago. You want to manage an outbreak of a disease. You cannot manage to pay the workers, the doctors and the nurse and the trolley attendants. You cannot manage their back pay. You want to manage an outbreak of a virus. That's not the same man who said we have the best health care in the Caribbean, or by extension the world. However, he noted that TNT is now in a much better position because of the increased availability of vaccine through his efforts.
It tells the national population that for the last, I don't know how long, my major assignment, night and day, or should I say day and night, because some countries, when we are asleep, they are up. And of course, talking to all people we can talk to. And we have been working on this continuously. We have had some response, but not any response to really move the needle in any serious direction, any serious solution is while it's going in the right direction. But today I could tell you that we're in a much better position, because not only are we seeing vaccines being available elsewhere, or vaccines being approved by WHO. All of these were, hopeful lights.
This man said we're in a better place. Over 400 people died. We're in a better place. We have about a little less than 200. Is 200,000 people vaccinated? Somewhere around there, 100,000 and under vaccinated. We have a population of 1,300,000 people. 1,300,000 people. And just about a little over 100,000 people vaccinated. But we are in a better place. You ain't touched the friggin' million yet. But we're in a better place. You ain't touched the blasted million yet. But we're in a better place. You're backward in asking for vaccine. We're in a better place. All you come now, man, Trinidad and Tobago, that is all your prime minister. And I stand up to tell all you, the kind of prime minister all you have, that is the same man who said to you on a meeting that I am not going to beg for vaccine. Is that a prime minister that all you voted for? Is that the individual you voted for? Is that the individual you care about? That same individual who said to you all, I'm not going to beg. So if you have the vaccine, you go take it. And if you ain't have it, I ain't business. You take a big loan from China to buy vaccine. You sign a non-disclosure agreement. We got 100,000 vaccine donated from China because you take a loan for $204 million US. Follow me closely. I've given you a reminder to come to the point. 204 million US. 15% of that went back to the country to say, well, you know, you take the loan from China, 15% of it goes back to buy materials. $26 million back to China for granting us a loan, $204 million. 100,000 Sinopharm vaccine donated to Trinidad. Why didn't you all purchase 500,000 Sinopharm vaccine from China? If they donated 100,000, why you didn't purchase 500,000 from them? Because you went for a loan to buy vaccine, which the Minister of Finance came out and said, we will pay for it because we took a loan and we have money. Say something, not Trinidadians. Well, let's say something. Caller, good night.
Good night, sir. What I want to know, what is it really this lockdown, this state of emergency has achieved? It is not, the death rate is almost the same, the new infection rate is the same. What is it they're achieving now? You are suffering our own citizen here.
Yes.
But I have just seen on the TV6 News on Indian arrival day itself in front of the Coast Guard, Storrs Bay, you have Venezuelans coming in, going out as if it is a fun day. So why is it that this man is resistant to put things in place? I think, it is my suggestion that people should not, that is why people would not listen to him. You see, 1 minute he is saying stay home, lockdown, don't come out. Don't go. Indian arrival day, I don't know if it is meant to slap them back in the face. But you telling people 1 minute now, Tobago, in the midst of a pandemic. So how is it that we are going to listen to you? 1 minute you're saying go east, 1 minute west, 1 minute north. Now the next thing I want to draw to your attention, when we say 405 people die, so you're right in 2020 Carnival, when we have close to 1,000 deaths, this very Avery Hines come out and say they died from pneumonia. Now today you see evidence is coming out to say how the doctors and them, I don't know whether they are being manipulated to put other causes of that. What I am saying, the death and the infection rate is much more. Why is it our Minister of Health, why is it that he is so much opposed to people going buying this test kit privately and do the test? When if you had an efficient system, people had no cost to go and do that. But this is what they're saying. The opposition was telling them since the outbreak in the first time, test. No, but you see, they are not using our taxpayers' dollars for that. Now imagine $18 billion spent. 5 years an accountant. We need a forensic audit to be done. You see, you have a studio there and you want to go to the bank for a loan, you need an auditor's report. How often have we seen the auditor's report? We need places like Pricewaterhouse or international company to give us an audit, because $18 billion in a lockdown could support all the families. Let me have 24 hours, $18 billion, everybody could have over 50, 60,000 dollars. You do the accounts and use it. What we want to know, who get this money? We need an audit. It is not, things are not adding up. Things are just not adding up. Our money is being embezzled and we are suffering. Enough is enough. I think it is time some international body make some intervention here. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Just a little to add to that. For the 3 months Trinidad and Tobago was on a lockdown in 2020, with an estimated $18 billion spent. If we have 700,000 houses in Trinidad and Tobago, you're giving each household $10,000 per month, and we still would not cross $18 billion. You see, I go tell you something. But before I go there, Prime Minister, he stated that by September the country will be in a much better position than it is now, as there is more light at the end of the tunnel.
Pleased to let you know that there is a lot more light coming through the tunnel at this stage. But we need to stay the course. We need not to get weary at this critical point. We need to stay the course. I could tell you now, from what we are doing, June, July, August, by September, with our children about to go out to school, we would be in a much better position than we are now, and could make decisions then that we cannot think about making now.
I will hold my tongue 1 minute. I wouldn't quick to jump, but hold on. He warned that the best vaccine is only one that is available.
In recent days, we have made 2 substantial payments for vaccines that will allow us to have a continuous supply of vaccines to bolster and accelerate our vaccination program. The payments have been made, And in the next 6 to 8 weeks, starting here in June, we expect to have a flow of vaccines that will keep us busy in an acceleration of the vaccination program. All I want to say about that, for good reasons at this time, is that if you are a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, vaccines will be available to you for free, and the best vaccine is the one that is offered to you unless you have been advised against it by your healthcare, your specialist healthcare advisor.
What is the best vaccine? Which is the best vaccine? Johnson & Johnson? Moderna? Pfizer? Which is the best vaccine? I'm asking the Prime Minister that. And by the way, how much was paid for the vaccine? And how much vaccine did you purchase? This is what I want to know. Because we took a loan of $204 million US from China. According to Colin Imbut, it is to buy vaccine. We have the money, so we will pay for vaccine. How much money are you spending on vaccine? And what type of vaccine are we getting? And how much vaccine are we getting? That is for the Prime Minister to answer. You see, as the Prime Minister, you jump up and you said, we took a loan. As the Prime Minister, you say we buy vaccine. You say we have the best vaccine on the market coming in. You didn't say how much you pay for the vaccine. You didn't say what is the brand of the vaccine. And you didn't say how much vaccine we bought. Caller, good night.
Said.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, good night. This man, the health minister, saying we are prepared. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, saying we are prepared, we'll manage it when it comes. Said, every year, we just have rainy season and we just get flood and we can't manage
Correct.
it. And this is something we get in every year. Right? This pandemic is something we could say we know experience to this magnitude. We could be prepared for that, and we can't prepare for flood every year we get in. You see, because we're more reactive than proactive.
Correct.
And this Prime Minister, full of himself, he don't want to accept help. He just want to play big dictator, and he's this and he's that. No. If you truly care about the people, you would be open to suggestions from everybody and everything.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, that is something. That is something. What is the best vaccine that you have purchased? How much vaccine did you have purchased? And what is the brand of the vaccine? Because it's money. It's tax-paying money going for the vaccine. And then you now come out and say that you took a loan from China to buy vaccine. Let me tell you something. Look out for new taxes coming up. Why am I saying that? Our economy crashed. We are surviving only by the savings in our bank. We have no growth in Trinidad and Tobago. We have no sustainability in Trinidad and Tobago. There is no performance in Trinidad and Tobago. There is nothing that is starting new in Trinidad and Tobago. Where are we getting the money from? And the government? Well, our Prime Minister is always telling us to tighten our belt. So how are we going to pay back this loan? Our economy is shattered. The oil and gas sector, which is supposed to be creating U.S. income for Trinidad and Tobago, is not functional. So where are we going? What road are we going on? I'm asking you. You see, I am doing my duty. I am spending my money to educate you all. You know what I remind me? Of our Friday night relationship show. For those of you who saw our Friday night relationship show, remember the lady? Remember the guy? As he hears satisfaction, he switched off his TV. Boy, it's so sad of you. So I wonder if the government send new taxes where he could stop working. So he will pay no tax. And to the other lady now who called, she called to voice her concern that I should not be talking about sexual education. Saeed, you should not be talking about that. Lo and behold now, she was brave enough to say now, I have a 16-year-old daughter that is pregnant. What do you think about that? You ain't teaching your daughter. Them are learning it in school. But when I decide to now educate the public, you vex with me. If you did sat down and teach your daughter, she would not be pregnant at 16. Call her good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Saeed, most of the vaccines bringing in Trinidad. Most of the vaccines in Canada, America, that ban boy, that ban. Most given blood clot. You understand? And our next topic yesterday was the Indian arrival day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I wonder if the administration see the slave people will come from India and all around the world at that time. We would sugarcane field like slave in Trinidad. And the slave for all the rest of their life under the Canary Limited still. Right? They come and they shut down Canary Limited. They had the cane farmer money, but they don't want to pay the cane farmer the money. They want to pay them a part of the money. They want half of the money for the administration for Trinidad and Tobago. They only want to pay 53%. Why robbing the slave them for? Pay the farmers them. Farmers come like slaves. They work too hard. Trinidad cane farmer.
Thank you, my friend. When I come here to educate, let me tell you something. You know how much views that is getting? How much people is be calling in position and say, Saeed, your Friday night show is one of the best that have in Trinidad. Because there is nobody, not on TV, not in school, not in a seminar, that educating the public about relationships, about sex education in school. Yes, we understand we are in a pandemic. We understand that. But the pandemic didn't stop a $600,000 robbery in Princestown. The pandemic didn't stop shooting in Port of Spain. So definitely the pandemic ain't going to stop your daughter from getting pregnant at 16. You should be glad and have a show on TV that would educate the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago just like I do every night from Monday to Thursday. Some of you all don't even know your rights yet. Some of you all don't even know that when a police hold you, they're supposed to read you your rights. All you know about that? But you want to call me on a Friday night, Saeed, you shouldn't be talking about that, you know. But then, you know, I have a 16-year-old pregnant home. And then the next one would say now, Saeed, my 7-year-old daughter wants to know where is sex. If you teach your children and mold them on the correct road, they will never forget where they come from. Never. I'm telling you that. You see, Everybody wants to be somebody who judges. But while you're telling me about me, you forget what's going on in your household. That's what you're doing. You forget what's going on in your household. So Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension the world, that are locked on to Synergy TV, viewing Real Talk, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or on television. Real Talk with Saieed Ali have been rated as one of the #1 educational show in Trinidad and Tobago. So if you don't know, tonight you know. Tonight you know. And you have the responsibility to stand up. You have the responsibility to stand up. Once every 5 years, any government that governs Trinidad and Tobago, once every 5 years, they stoop to your level. Once every 5 years, the government stoop to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? You know why? They want your vote. And they will tell you anything that you want to hear to get your votes. Always remember that. If Saieed didn't know who Saieed was or who Saieed is, I would have never be here. One man led thousands of people into the wilderness, and they survived. One man will stand for change in Trinidad and Tobago, and thus far, I have been getting it. So we're out of time for tonight, viewers. Nevertheless, it's Tuesday. On Wednesday night, we'll have another episode of Real Talk with Saieed Ali for another educational show, I must say. So until we meet again, Al-Kabarahoma Za'ula, Re'ikaanda, Zaba'ula, Ba'al-Inna, La Sunto, Bakela, La Urma. Don't watch while the neighbor go down and look to educate yourself. Sebekeba La Una Rehima, otherwise you will go down just as the neighbor going down. Until we meet again, good night.